Hey everyone, it has been way too long since my last video.
One eternity later.
Wow, it's been a long time since I made a YouTube video. Hopefully I still know what I'm doing. I'm back, and it's been a long year. I've done a bunch of stuff, including work on my game, and my game is finally at a point where I feel like I can show it off. So the name will be revealed, along with a bunch of details for gameplay and stuff I'm going to work on in this upcoming devlog series. That will be my next video, but since it's been such a long time, I figured I would go over some of what I've been doing over the past year, as well as talk about my game dev goals for 2024. So let's take a look at some of what I've been up to this past year, and then we'll get into what I hope to accomplish this year as a solo indie game dev. So first up, a bunch of DIY stuff. I actually updated a bathroom in my house for the first time by myself, which I had never done before. And it was actually really good to be doing something physical rather than sitting at a computer all day, which is kind of what I do for work. And obviously as a solo indie game dev, that's what I'm going to be doing a lot of this year. Like a lot of it. But the next big thing I did was put together my favorite keyboard that I've ever had. I don't actually use it to type on that much because sometimes not being able to see all of the letters and stuff on the keyboard is a little bit annoying when I'm doing work. But it's definitely fun to pull out whenever I just want to do something casual on the computer, and the clicky-clacky sound is very nice. But along with working on my game, putting my keyboard together, doing some DIY stuff, that was pretty much the past year. So let's go ahead and talk about some of my goals for this year as a solo game dev. All right, so the first game dev goal I have for 2024 is to actually refine my gameplay. So I have a general sense of what this game is going to be, and it's going to be an adventure game where you can talk to characters, you can sort of fight enemies, you can explore, solve basic puzzles, and stuff like that. But I think I really need to take a look at each aspect of this game and really try to distill it down to what makes it fun and valuable to include in this sort of game overall. And that's definitely going to be the focus of my devlog series going forward, taking a look at each aspect of the game as it currently exists and try to bring it up to a level of polish where I would be comfortable presenting that to a publisher, for example. So the second major goal is to refine my art style. So I think it really works for this stage of development, but I do think it needs some polish in order to make it look like something that I would be comfortable presenting to a publisher, if I end up doing that at some point this year. And I want to make sure my illustration style, my key art, etc. for the game are really going to help with marketing. So that's why while I was developing the game thus far, I tried to focus on visuals and making it look good, even if the gameplay itself was not as refined as it could be. But going forward, I want to make sure that I have a standardized, sort of well-refined art style for each distinct aspect of the game itself. Up next, my fourth goal for the year is sound and music. So I pretty much have already decided that I don't want to try to make the music myself, so I'm going to have to find a way to pay people to make music for the game, but I do want to try to make sound effects myself. So this is actually not the first game that I worked on. I released a game previously, which I documented on this channel, called Mystic Meadow, and I actually did all the sound effects and music for that game. So the music is super simple, and the sound effects were me walking around my house, like finding things I could hold the microphone up to record. But it was an interesting process, and I think I can do basic sound effects like that for this game as well, and that was kind of fun. So I will definitely be dedicating some portion of this devlog series to making the sound for this game. So the fifth major goal that I have this year is to make a polished demo. So I might release it on Steam. I think the main reason I want to have a demo is to be ready if, in the case I want to present this game to publishers, that I have something to demo. Of course, it always helps to have the demo for playtesting purposes and for getting feedback from any playtesters or my potential audience. Whoever that is. Also, that's another thing I have to figure out. But that's all good. As long as I have the demo, I think that's obviously a good place to be in. And it gives me some flexibility as to how I can use that demo to help either market this game, help get feedback from this game, which helps me develop the game, of course, etc. So having a polished demo is a major goal for this year, along with each refined aspect of gameplay and a refined art style that goes into that demo. The next major goal I have is to research publishers and weigh my options with regards to what a publisher might be able to offer me, assuming I have something they're actually interested in. So when I first started this project, I didn't think I wanted a publisher, but having learned more about this process and how much you have to do on your own, it might be a good idea to look for one, as long as they're not trying to take like ownership of the game itself or something. But I'm not going to let that hold me back from looking for a publisher, because I think a publisher partnership could be potentially very good. We'll just have to see. I'll have to see what kinds of things are out there, and have to make sure I have something that's presentable and worthy of a publisher's time. Next up is the Steam page, and this is probably one of the quicker ones because I already kind of did it, but I'll show that in my next video when I actually talk about the game. So the Steam page is up, and I think that I'm going to try to get as many wish lists as possible, obviously. So the marketing I'm going to be doing over the course of this year will hopefully get me to my wish list goal. I don't exactly know what that wish list goal is for this year. So I've heard and watched a bunch of YouTube videos about how many wish lists you probably want to have before you launch your game. I think it was ideally like 20,000 or something like that, I've heard. But we'll see. We'll just have to see how that goes. Hopefully, if I have a high enough day-by-day wish list amount, then that will mean good things for the, future projections or whatever. But we'll see how that goes. As long as I have a Steam page, I can at least start that process. Anyway, next goal, Kickstarter page. So I don't know if doing a Kickstarter is going to be possible for this year, because there's quite a lot of stuff that goes into making that Kickstarter page. Well, at least the rewards for your Kickstarter backers. But I do want to have a Kickstarter page presence up, so people can at least follow the Kickstarter page in the event that I actually make it live at some point in the next 1.5 to 2 years. I don't know. All right, so that's what I hope to accomplish in 2024. We'll see how this year goes. But my next video is going to be the first official devlog where I reveal the name of the game, etc. But this year is going to be more focused, and I'm ready to go, so I'm excited to see what I'll be able to accomplish as a solo game dev in 2024. Hope to see you in the next video when I finally reveal the name of this thing for the first time, and hope to see you going forward in 2024. Take care. Thanks.